Let's do a WTA French Open betting preview. In this video we're going to cover what to expect from the top players. I'm going to be sharing with you my outright picks, players that you'll want to side with and players who I suggest avoiding. This is all going to help with your betting hopefully, and for those signing up to our newsletter you will also be sent 6 of our premium picks for the first round. You can sign up through the pinned comment, and on Wednesday next week you'll want to check back for our new video that we're posting about what you can do to win at tennis betting. How your eyes, if you learn to use them, can beat tennis data every time. I'm Tony from Analyst, a full-time professional gambler. Let's crack on. Before we get into the players, we need to consider the conditions and the courts in Paris. Right, so what to expect next week. Starting Saturday, the weather's going to start to get very hot, and in fact, by Monday, it's expected to reach 32 degrees Celsius, 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And what that means in reality terms, the courts are going to be ultra fast, they're going to be really lively, and it's going to reward those players that can put on some really heavy topspin, especially during that first week. Okay, the cream comes to the top in the second week when conditions are going to be more normal, but for the first week we need to concentrate on those type of players that can come up with the ingredients to win on this surface. Don't forget though, if they're playing the night matches, obviously it's chalk and cheese. It's going to be a totally different game. The conditions become heavy. There's obviously dew in the air, the balls get heavier and the ball stays lower. So it's going to be a different game altogether if you are playing night games. Also, just think of the shadows, and of course, if you're playing on centre court, about the crowds. The crowds in Paris are particularly loud and they do affect a certain type of player. Just bear that in mind. Now let's go on through the players. Aryna Sabalenka is the number 1 ranked player. Now, in the ELO for clay, she's also the number 1, and that is despite only having 66.9% strike rate on this surface. Now, she did reach the final of this last year when she was beaten by Coco Gauff, and she's also reaching the semi-final and the quarter-final before. Now, the 28-year-old, she does come into this on the back of a couple of recent defeats, which were a little bit disappointing because they were to Sorana Castilla and Ailey Baptiste, but they always say the cream comes to the top. And just look, 28 wins this season and just 3 defeats. No other tennis player out there can beat this, so she's obviously going to be one of the players to beat. With everything considered, it's quite surprising not to find her at the top of the betting. The number 2 ranked player is Elena Rybakina, the 26-year-old. She's got a better strike rate on clay, but we do wonder whether these courts are ideal for her. If you actually look what she's done over the years here, she's only reached the 4th round last year, and the quarterfinal was her best performance. So, a little bit disappointing. However, what we should say is that the first week in particular will suit her because obviously the faster conditions will help her out. She likes to strike that ball pretty heavy, and Rybakina is one of the biggest hitters on the court. She did win Stuttgart, which is sort of proof of concept. More worrying is that she's been recently beaten by Potapova in Madrid, and then she was beaten by Svitolina in Rome, right? So, a little bit disappointed. We don't see her as a natural for these courts, but obviously she's going to get to the later stages, probably the 4th or maybe the quarterfinals, who knows. Now at the head of the betting market is the 3rd seed, Igor Swiatek. Now the thing is with Swiatek, she's won this tournament 4 times in the past, so obviously that ticks the right boxes. She did show some good form in the early rounds of Rome last week, but when it came down to the nitty-gritty, she was beaten by Svitolina in the quarterfinal. That was a little bit disappointing, especially the way she faded. After controlling the early parts of the exchanges, she just seemed to, get caught out by Svitolina's resistance. Now, she's just 18-9 this season, and her rank has slipped. She was really the dominant player in world tennis for quite a while, but that level is non-existent anymore. So we don't see her as a natural favourite this time around. We didn't win it last year, and we're not expecting her to win it this season. So we want to take her on. So let's talk about the number 4 ranked player, and that is Corey Goff, last year's winner. She beat Aryna Sabalenka in the final, came from a set down to win that match. She actually won the final 2 sets 6-2, 6-4. She can be a really top player on her day. Not a player that we tend to follow. We tend to avoid her matches, and we should say that she got beat recently in the final of Rome by Elina Svitolina. Svitolina dug in that day, and that was enough to worry the American out of it. Now we have to also mention she's already been a semi-finalist also before, so she does like these calls, and obviously she's handling the crowd pressure. But other than that, we don't see her winning this time around. One of our favourite players on tour is ranked 5th, and that is Jessica Pegula, the billionaire's daughter, the 32-year-old American. Now, while Pegula's been firmly ranked in the top 5 for the last few years, she's not been able to claim any sort of major title. That's a little bit of a worry. She's 32 years old now, and, you know, time is obviously running out. We don't see her as a natural fit for these courts here. She will give it her best. She'll be really solid during the early few rounds, but the best she's ever done was the quarter-final in 2022. If she gets beyond that stage, we will be quite surprised. Pegula is another that's worth taking on. Can you provide account services in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Finland, or the United Arab Emirates? If you can, please get in touch with us over the website betanalyst.com. Ranked number 6 is Amanda Anisimova. If you look at her in the betting, you go to Betfair, you can still get like 100 to 1. Now, the reasons are pretty obvious. She's not been playing much this season. But if you go back to the last campaign, she had absolutely a brilliant time of it. In fact, she won Doha and she won Beijing. And she also reached the final of both Wimbledon and the New York Open, the US Open, should I say. She has reached the semi-final of this before, way back in 2019. She was a top teenager. She was a great player. She's always been pretty strong, you know, stable. She's got the constitution definitely to play these courts. But again, you know, lack of real preparation maybe is going to let her down. We don't see her also as a contender, but she's a genuine player and she should reach the later stages. The number 7 ranked player is Elina Svitolina. Fair play to her. She comes into this having won Rome. She's a working mother. She took a year and a half off when she had a child, came back stronger than ever. She's done particularly well, and she will be well supported by the crowd. Well, she's Ukrainian. She's married to Gail Monfils, a French player, so, you know, that's why the crowd will definitely be behind her. However, she's not been able to reach a final of a Grand Slam. In fact, she's reaching 3 semi-finals and 5 quarter-finals, so it shows you that she's got the resilience to get later into the tournament. But on a positive note, she's playing better than ever, and that would have done her a lot of confidence, that recent win in Rome. 29-7 on the year. I'm sure she's going to give it her all, and she's going to be thereabouts at the end. The number 8 is Mira Andreeva. Now, I personally don't believe too much in the 19-year-old. She's been around quite a while, you know, she's been well supported, but she's still very immature. Whichever way you look at it, some of the ways that she starts speaking to her coach during the game, you know, saying things like, I'm not the best, I'm not very good, that is a little bit disappointing. She needs to grow up. And what I would say with Andreeva, even though she's reached the recent final in Madrid and the semi-final of Stuttgart, she's not always battling, she's not always putting it in at the business end of tournaments. It does make it a little bit worrying for me. I don't see the 19-year-old being particularly dangerous in this draw. At rank 9 is Victoria Mboko, the Canadian. She actually won at Montreal last year. That was her claim to fame. Got her right up those rankings. She also made the final of Doha this season. So, you know, she's carried on at that level. She's a very good player. She's definitely up and coming, that's for sure. And she's just 19 years old. So, you know, she's got the best times in front of her. Whether she's the right player for, you know, a clay tournament like this is another story. She did get a couple of rounds last season, and she also came through qualifying before that. But, you know, this is a big step up in class. We do know that outsiders can come and win this tournament, but Mboko for me would be a big outsider. And at rank 10 is Karolina Muchova. Now, we've got to say that Muchova is one of the most underrated players of all time. When she's at her best, she can really hit that ball. She's so clever. She's a great tennis player. Unfortunately for her, body's let her down over the years, and she hasn't been able to compete as much as she wished to. However, she was able to win Doha, and she made the recent final in Stuttgart, playing some fantastic tennis at the moment. Whether her body lasts out for the whole tournament, that's going to be, the big issue or the big question. But to be fair, she did make the final in 2023 when she was actually beaten by Swiatek in 3 sets. So if she could reach that final, who knows? If her body's really playing positive with her, she could get to the later stages and possibly have a shout at winning it. So let's pick up on some other players. Marta Kostyuk, she won that recent tournament in Madrid. She's expected to do well, or the press are talking her up. She's actually been bet quite heavily in the early exchanges. She's about 25 to 1 now. I would expect in reality to be about nearer 40 to 1. That's her chance. Then you've got Qinwen Zheng. She's the Olympic winner. She likes these courts. She plays clay particularly well, but she's been out of form for quite a while. And the reason for that is quite simple. She's been injured, right? So she's been struggling physically. It's very difficult to imagine Zheng there at the business end. Also, the same can be said for Yelena Ostapenko. She's won this tournament in the past. That was a big surprise. Who knows, on a going day, she's a bit of a surprise package. But again, it's a long way to get to the final and to do it all again. She's changed a little bit over the years. She's not quite the player that she was in the past. So maybe she's there to be beaten. One player who has been really impressive this season is Sorana Cîrstea, the 36-year-old. This is going to be her last season on the tour. Apparently she's going to be retiring at the end of the season, but she's been playing better than ever. She's reached a career high rank that age, so it just shows you she's really got the mentality. She's in the game at the moment. She's going to be a dangerous player, but of course winning it is another story. And the same can be said for Linda Noskova. She's still got a little bit to prove. She's coming good. She can beat top players on a day, but all in all, she's a bit sort of up and down. So, one of those downs will definitely catch her out. That's the way I would see it. So now I just want to go through a couple of players that you should be probably support in the early rounds. Obviously, it's going to depend on the draw. I don't have that at hand at the moment, so that's going to be a bit of a factor. But Emma Navarro, she's starting to make a bit of a comeback. She played some really good tennis in Strasbourg, and that shouldn't be a negative. If you think about it, Barbara Krejcikova, she actually came from Strasbourg a couple of years ago and won the final of the French Open. So it can be done. Navarro is a tough player. Definitely want to keep on the right side. And another player who's returning, she's got a low ranking at the moment, but she is very capable, and that is Daria Kasatkina. Again, we're going to hopefully get some nice odds because of that ranking slip, but she did suffer a bad injury, and that's why she's having to work her way back up. More to like in her recent matches, and we just want to keep her on the right side for now. As far as players that we want to take on, Eva Jovic is one. We took her on last week, actually with Navarro, got some nice odds of 3 on Navarro, won that match easily. Obviously, Jovic wants to do better at the bigger tournaments, so she'll probably be putting it all in, but if she gets the right player on the other side, I'll be taking her on when she's particularly short odds. The same is for Karolina Pliskova. She had a bit of a revival recently, but all in all, she's just not really good enough for this level anymore. She was a former number 1, but in reality, you could rank her well outside the 50 now. Alexandra Ela is another player that I think is very overrated, gets a lot of publicity in the press, obviously done fantastic for her country, but she's just not good enough at this level. Still got a lot to prove. Clara Tauson, that is one of the players that I always take on her. I've done particularly well in taking her on at short odds. I think she's just always been a player that they've talked about a lot, but I've yet to see it on court. As for the betting tip, my outright pick, I'm going to take 2 players. I'm going to do 80% of my stake on Aryna Sabalenka. Now it's 4.2 on the early Betfair market. There's not much substance there at the moment, but shopping around, you're going to get 3 to 1 plus. I think she's the most likely winner. However, I do want to put 20% on Elina Svitolina. I know she's going to get supported, and moral's going to be boosted by that recent win in Rome, and she is a player that's always going to give her best. So getting massive odds, 20 to 1, that's worth a little side bet, that's for sure. So I'm going to do 20% of my stake there. So there you have it. There you have our thoughts on the French Open. Now, don't forget to check back for that other video that we're posting. It's going to really help you out in beating the sportsbooks. If you learn to bet for yourself, then you can start winning on your own accord. You don't always need betting tips. These betting tips for me are educational for you. That's the only reason that I do them. We've also got the football betting running parallel. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link up. And don't forget to get on that newsletter. It's going to get you properly informed. We're going to share tips, but more than that, we're going to share education, which is going to help you become a smarter, better. It's all for free. See you in the next one soon. Bye bye.